Guys, what's up? Welcome back here to another edition of Intuitive Angling, and thanks a lot for checking out today's video. Much appreciated. And guys, today we're going to be talking about what the rain does to bass in the fall time of the year, and really, some techniques that you can use to catch them, sort of some of the, how it affects their moods and behavior and that type of stuff. So we'll get into that in today's video. First, guys, I'd like to invite everybody out there, if you haven't had a chance, to please subscribe to the channel, man, or consider subscribing to Intuitive Angling. Right now, only about 40% of the people that watch the videos are subscribed, and the other 60% aren't. So if you want to support the channel out here, it's a good way to help it out there. So please consider subscribing, and you'll also hit that notification button so you don't miss any videos. Much appreciated. Okay, guys, one of the things that you'll find out about bass fishing is that weather patterns and different type of weather conditions affect bass differently at different times of the year. Now, a lot of this is based upon changes in water temperatures, changes in water clarities, water levels, that type of stuff. But I can tell you one thing that I found out about bass fishing, more than anything else in the fall time of the year, and that is that rain, and when it's raining, it has a bigger impact on triggering bass to bite than any other time of the year. I don't care what time it is, what time of year it is. In my opinion, the fall time of the year, and specifically in the months of October and November, rain plays a bigger role in triggering those fish to bite than it does in the spring, the summer, early fall, obviously winter, that type of stuff. Wintertime, rain a lot of times is a negative. Springtime of the year, it can change different things, and especially in late spring, it can have an impact. Summertime, it does to some extent, but one of the big reasons, or the biggest reason, that rain affects bass so much in the fall time of the year is there's simply more bass up shallow in the fall time of the year that are actively feeding. Now, there's a lot of bass up in the shallows in the springtime of the year, but a lot of those fish are not like actively feeding during the daytime a lot. They're more focused on spawning, and that's sort of like, part of their personality a little bit. But in the fall time of the year, in my opinion, you have a larger number of actively feeding bass in shallower water than about any time of the year, specifically in October and November. And what happens is when it rains in October and November, it gets those fish biting big time. It has it's like if you can go fishing any time of the year, or let's say fall time, if you can go fishing any time in the fall time, October and November, and you want to catch a bunch of fish, the number one thing you can do, look at the weather forecast and try to go on those days that are rainy and nasty. Now, this is really specifically good when those water temperatures are in anywhere between 55 to 70 degrees. That's the main thing with that. And water clarities also play impact on it too. Obviously, the cleaner the water, the more of an impact that's going to have. If you've got dirty water, like water visibilities of under about 1.5 feet, rain, it can help it a little bit, especially if that water temperature is closer to 70. But guys, if you have a lake that you fish and the water visibility is over 3 foot in clarity, in that sort of that 3 to 8 foot clarity zone, man, it can be so fun fishing October, November. And the things that you want to do with that is you have to take advantage of those active feeding windows with moving baits. That's why your topwater lures, your spinner baits, chatter baits, crankbaits, any type of swim jigs, any type of a moving lure that moves shallow horizontally through the water column is going to be, some of your best lure choices. My favorite bait by far when it's raining in the fall time of the year is a spinner bait. And the spinner bait setup, it depends on, the lake you're fishing, and actually the water temperatures, how late in the fall it is, the intensity of the rain. But I'll share with you guys two of my favorite scenarios with it. My number one favorite scenario to catch them on is burning a spinner bait in the fall time of the year. So I'll take like a small profile, like that Megabass SB3 spinner bait or something, a little small profile spinner bait with like a number 3 willow leaf blade on it or something. And on those rainy days, I'll just cover water with that thing and burn that thing just like maybe, 3 to 6 inches under the surface. Usually I parallel the banks. So I'm paralleling steep banks, paralleling bluffs. Sometimes I'll fan cast it around rocky points. If you have a little bit of a breeze, that's even better. But man, guys, if you're ever on a situation where you got water temperatures in the 60s and it's raining, specifically if it's like a moderate rain, doesn't have, not like a heavy rain, or not just like a little mist, but just sort of like a moderate rain with maybe a 5 to 10 mile an hour wind, hang on, because those fish are going to be biting. I promise you, if you're going to ever catch any bass, it's going to be under those conditions. Get out there with that little, some type of a little shad pattern, small profile spinnerbait, and just cover water. Now, a lot of guys like to go to a topwater, and a topwater can be effective with that, but I find like I catch more fish on the spinnerbait than the topwater. The topwater fishing is going to be good, especially if you got water visibility sort of in that same zone, that 3 to 6 foot zone. Walking topwaters, prop baits, buzzers, that type of deal. Buzz baits are going to work a little bit better if you have a little bit lower water visibility. So if you got water visibility sort of in that 2 to 3 foot range, a buzzer can be really good. Same type of deal, just get back, cover water, fish really shallow with that. And later in the fall, say for example, when that water temperature starts falling below 60 and when it's like 55 to 60 and it's raining, that's the when I like to keep throwing the spinnerbait, but I upsize my spinnerbait. I go to a big spinnerbait and I put like a big number 7 Colorado or number 7 willow leaf blade on it, and I fish it the same way. I fish it shallow, trying to keep it just under the surface, usually into that, I don't know, that 3 inches to 8 inches under the surface, and just fishing whatever shallow cover is available. Shallow grass, if you've got grass, rocks, wood, whatever like that. But those rainy days, man, when you've got low light level conditions and a little bit of wind out there, it triggers those quality fish to bite shallow. And a lot of those fish, they're up there feeding at night, and the bigger fish are. And if you have a rainy, cloudy days with a little bit of wind on it, it keeps those same night feeding fish up shallow and active all day long. And it's probably one of my favorite times of the year to fish. It's just can be really, really good. And another thing, guys, I'll tell you about the big spinnerbait when it's raining, is they will bite it even if that water temperature gets a little bit colder. And if you ever get a situation, let's say for example, it's November, early December, and water temperatures are like 55, 57 degrees, and you get that first really bad cold front of the fall where it drops those temperatures down to freezing and it starts snowing. If you get a day where that rain turns into snow and you got a 5 to 10 mile an hour wind on, guys, you better get on the water, because I'm telling you, that is when you're going to have so much fun is fishing when it's snowing. If that water temperature is still in the 50s, or if the water's below 55 degrees, not so much. But if that water temperature is above 55 degrees and you happen to have some snow, put on that big spinnerbait and just, you will be shocked how many good fish you catch that day. So take advantage of it, guys. Rain is a positive in the fall time of the year more than any other time of the year. They always bite. If you're not catching fish in the fall when it's raining, it's like Charlie Campbell said, guys. I remember, Charlie Campbell from here in Missouri, one of the famous Ozark fishermen, famous for fishing the Zerespook. Charlie always said, if you can't catch rain in the fall when it's raining, you better hang your rod up, because they are biting then. So anyway, hope it helps out, guys. We'll talk later.